Today we have on Brent Thompson and Miranda Sundsvold. Brent was in the healthcare field for 30 years before he left to take over Minpack in Pine City. Miranda also left the healthcare field just this year. So we'll get into why they left and learn about Minpack and talk about so much other stuff.
Yeah, so we toured your place yesterday, and honestly, I was blown away. Like, I had a little bit of an expectation of what you guys do, but I didn't quite fully understand it, but I was so glad that I didn't have, like, something set in stone because it just blew my mind. Yeah. So can you tell us, what does Minpack do for someone that wouldn't know?
Sure. Well, we do a lot of things, but primarily we almost always end all of our products with packaging. Like, we pack things out, whether that's putting things in boxes or blister packing or, who knows, whatever kind of, you can just imagine. The things you see on the store shelves are things that we do as far as packaging. But prior to that, a lot of stuff we're manufacturing and converting as well. Like, we're literally taking in raw material of some sort or a product that needs to be further converted down to the finished good, and then we package that out.
Yeah. And then can you guys describe what your roles are at Minpack?
Sure. Well, I'm the owner. I just recently took it over a little over a year ago, and so I guess I'm the boss. I'm the president or whatever.
You're the big cheese.
That's the role that I have.
Yeah.
I'm there to help with day-to-day operations and meet with the team every day, all the time, and then obviously the business of running a business and watching financials and all the different pieces that go into that.
Yeah.
And I'm Miranda, and I'm untitled. I kind of am trying to be fluid with wherever that means. Yep. I started with the marketing side, social media, and I've kind of dove a little bit into the salesy side, learning the machines, also product design, like kind of all of it intertwined. So I don't really have like one title, but
that's perfect, because that's kind of like how Sherman does it, or a lot of the cases where you hire for the person and then the person kind of ends up finding the perfect spot for themselves. Right. And so then you're going to be super well versed, you're going to know every aspect, and then you're going to know exactly where you want to go. So I love that.
We're working on it. I've been thinking about it. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, what's her title, right? What am I going to, I mean, I'm going towards sort of like this growth development
title.
Role.
Yeah, so it's kind of all intertwined. So I'm just jumping around everywhere right now.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Learn as much as you can, and then
And it's getting really exciting.
Yeah.
So
good.
Stuff's up and coming.
Good. Yeah.
So you took it over from your dad. Was that a lot of pressure, like, to keep going with his legacy?
I don't know if that's necessarily pressure so much as it was pretty much a kind of a feel-good type of thing, right? Like, family business, dad had it. I never really played a role in the business because I was already out into my profession when he founded Minpack. So I don't know if there was a lot of pressure. I think, it's interesting because for the last 20 some odd years, I worked at the hospital, which was a county job. Essentially, it was a county hospital, and so I was a county worker. And I took a lot of pride in having some play in people's tax dollars, and that meant a lot to me. Like, I was always mindful of how we were spending our money and how we were using it. That got cranked up to a much higher level when it became my money. So that's definitely probably that's the pressure point, right?
And going from an industry that is such a sure thing, like the medical world, to entrepreneurship, was that scary? What was that transition like?
It was a bit of. I mean, the good thing is that it's an established business, lots of relationships out there, and customers there. But I'm seeing ebbs and flows that, I've had these conversations with my dad, and he's experienced them too. Like, there's down times and there's good times, and there's certainly some stress involved in that, right?
Yes. So how do you make sure deadlines are met when you have like such specialized or proprietary like machinery. I mean, because walking through yesterday, I mean, nothing was just like you just go to the hardware store and fix it, you know?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think that, there's a lot of history there.
Uh-huh.
And every job has a different lead time, or how long it's going to take. I mean, and there's a lot of folks that are working for me that sort of understand what it takes to make something happen.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would liken it to you guys building a building, right? Like you have a deadline, right?
Sure.
And you got some really wise people working for you that know what it's going to take to make that deadline. And this is very, very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Miranda, who do you think should be calling you as like a potential customer?
Anyone who has a product that they think is like, wow, that they want to invest in, if they want to scale it big, or they just want packaging for it, or maybe they have a prototype in mind and they're like, hey, this is my idea.
Yeah.
Or they're well established and they're just like, hey, let's pump some out. I think anyone who just wants to scale themselves a little bit more.
Uh-huh. And would you say you have like an ideal customer, or is it just you could have someone that wants to do 2 units or 2 million units? It really doesn't matter.
The cool part about Minpack is I think you can do both.
Yeah.
I think you can scale it down and you have those short times because it's in Pine City, and then you can go to those big corporations.
Yeah.
And also then pump those out. So that's what I like. There's both.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, Cody had a good comment yesterday. He was like, small town worldwide,
Yeah.
which
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought that was a perfect little thing to, talk about you guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, so Brent, Miranda said that growing up you had a different committee or board meeting every night of the week. Like you're so community orientated, the fair board, better together. Where did this commitment to the community come from?
Well, it's definitely started with my folks. Both my mom and dad are lifetime Lions members, community members, really strong. Whether it's locally in Pine City or with the Lions particularly, I mean, they still spend a ton of time with that, and so that's certainly where I seen it and modeled it from, and I just recognize the value in helping out, but also incredible opportunity to socialize and meet lots of people and do a lot of cool things, right? And like the fair, like why would you want to be on the fair board, right? And some people think, well, it's because we get brand new trucks we don't get brand new trucks. We don't get a dime, right? In fact, it costs us a lot of money because we're putting in our time.
It's crazy how many people think fair board members get paid.
Oh yeah, right. It's wild. But it's pretty cool to be part of an effort that brings, thousands of people, thousands of kids to town to party and have fun and listen to music, and I mean it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It was just normal for your family.
Yeah.
So, Brent, would you mind sharing how come you left the healthcare industry?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think, I certainly wasn't looking to leave healthcare necessarily. I had a very good career. I had a lot of accomplishments. I've been a part of, the Minnesota Pharmacists Association and the American Pharmacists Association for most of my career. I had a lot of great accomplishments there. Was fortunate to win a few awards along the way, and I was the president of the Minnesota Pharmacists Association. So I had a lot of these kind of big successes, and then I also had a number of successes here locally at the hospital. So the career was great. It was really pretty good. And moving to Minpack, the decision really was about wanting to continue my dad's legacy in the business and it being a family business. And he founded it pretty late in life too. He was about my age when he really started looking at founding Minpack, and we were all like, why aren't you retiring? But
Ditto.
he recognized that in our community in Pine City that there was 35 people there that had their careers there, and they needed that job every day, and he wanted to make sure that continued. And so When I took over, I felt kind of that same pull of just, okay, this little company here in Pine City creates a lot of jobs, and there are folks that have been there for a long time, and it's their career, and boy, we really want to make sure that continues.
Yeah. Yeah. Make an impact on your community and those that are in it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
And Miranda, you said that you got burnt out, that you were sick of treating patients like numbers instead of people. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest challenges that most nurses will agree on is and I can tell you what point it came, but there became a point that there's a lot more checkboxes that you have to do versus what you can do for your patients. So it's like you have to do X, Y, Z, and then maybe we can do this treatment for them. It's a lot of hoops, and you're like, by the time I get to X, Y, Z, it don't even matter no more. It's hard because you can't really pinpoint one thing. I mean, like insurances or state laws, or you feel like most people that are writing how nurses should do it have never been a nurse in their life, or healthcare in general. That is challenging. I mean, seeing some of your patients where you're just like, hey, I know you need this. You're mad at me. I'm mad for you. We're going to do the best we can. I mean, we use our resources at the counties. My supervisors were great. But it only goes so far sometimes. That can be challenging because you can clock out of a job, but it doesn't go away. I mean, like when I go home, it's not like I forget about John Doe or... So that's tiring sometimes.
Oh, I just brought up Severance yesterday, the TV show. Have you guys heard of it? So I haven't watched it yet, but it's something like when you go to work, they like sever out your personal life. And then when you have your personal life, you sever out your work life.
Yep.
And me and Veda were like, yeah, we would so do that. And not at this job that I have now, but like if you were doing a horrible job for really good money, like, yeah, I would totally do that. And Ryan's like, no, I would never do that. But like maybe like that would be healthy for nurses in the ER who see traumatic, horrible things.
Yep. And you do eventually, without making it sound bad, you become a little bit numb to it. Where you do it over and over and over and over, and you're like, the same empathy I would have once gave, maybe I'm not giving anymore.
Starts to wear off a little bit.
Yeah, where you're like, and so really making sure you're being forefront with that to be a good nurse is also something like, okay, maybe I need to step back, which entailed the last few weeks working specifically with Minpack. Healthcare and Minpack aren't too big of a difference. It's just one, I was physically taking care of patients. This one, I'm just taking care of people in a whole different way. Like, it's still very rewarding. I just don't get yelled at. Like, because in healthcare, you always see people on their worst day. It's never like they don't want to come see you. It's never like a good day. Here, they're like, hey, we have these ideas. And you're like, oh, you're excited? I'm excited.
Yeah.
So that's been super fun the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I try to be like sell insurance, and it was like, I mean, Seth made insurance really cool last week, but I couldn't get passionate about it, but then I was like such a good bartender because it's like, people want beer. You don't really have to sell it to them, you know what I mean? Or somebody would be like, oh, you're such a good salesman. I'm like, selling beer is one thing, you know? So
it makes them feel good.
Like, yeah, you want to be around people that you're making feel good. And you said you had good supervisors, but do you think like from the way top up, there could have been more done to like help you feel supported so you weren't so burnt out? Or like what could have helped? Because obviously we need nurses.
Yeah, I think, how far up that goes, I don't know. I think it'd be really, if they could get like the idea of progress over perfectionism in there, it would help tremendously. I mean, staffing ratios to nurses, even in like hospitals, there's a lot of, I mean.
Workload is a real significant challenge in healthcare.
Yeah, and then you're trying to give your best and you can't.
The pandemic exacerbated that greatly.
Yeah, you said that COVID was kind of a last straw for you.
Yeah, I mean, the workload that's needed now compared to pre-pandemic is much greater, and people don't understand why that is. It's because we all expanded our roles during the pandemic. Everybody was doing so much more different things. And
so many more protocols, I would
more
assume.
protocols, more, different procedures, or, whatever it is, I mean, for like, Pharmacists were doing vaccines prior to the pandemic, but during the pandemic, I mean, we gave like 65% of the vaccines in the United States. Pharmacists did that, right? Most people don't even know that, first of all. But that takes resources. Your pharmacists are having to step offline from their normal work, which nowadays I guess vaccines is part of their normal work, but they're in a flow, they're in a groove, they're in a workflow, and now they got to step away and go do some vaccines and visit with the patient. That's all wonderful stuff, but they never got any additional resources or time to help them do that, right? So that was a lot of it. Like, and I think that went across all disciplines. Even as simple as during the pandemic, all the PPE routines, right?
Okay.
You don't just throw on a face mask. You gown up, you clean up, and you put all this extra protective gear on. And then, oh, by the way, you got to do the same thing when you take it off. It takes just as long to take it off as it does to put it on. It's pretty intense. And because of that, now we're more cognizant of PPE. We use it way more than we ever did, right? So all of those little things sort of add to your job. They add to the workload. And so that's a big part of the challenge today, is that maybe the issues aren't as bad as they were during the pandemic, but now we all took on a whole bunch more roles and different things that we do that added to the workload.
I like systems a lot, but like when things get too systematic and there's like so much you have to do just to get something done.
Well, and that's like, healthcare is a gray area, right? Like there is no black and white case, but they have black and white outlines for what you should do. And you're like, wait, it doesn't work for 90% of the people you see. And fallback wise is they'll drop down to your nurses or something. They're like, oh yeah, that didn't work. And it might've been our guidelines, but we're going to blame the ones at the bottom. And you're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
That part's hard too. Like, we can only cross our T's and dot our I's before we're worrying about that so much more than like, hey, we need to focus the other way.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see it everywhere. Nurses go on strike. They beg for help. And then hospitals, instead of increasing pay, increasing staff, they'll pay temp nurses to come in for twice as much as they're paying the regular staff nurses. Where you're like, why didn't you just put that money in staffing when you had, like...
Up until 2001, the pharmacist was the most trusted health professional, or they're the most trusted professional in the United States. 2001, nurses took it over. But the reality is, I mean, Gallup did their polls like in 2022, and like pharmacists are now fourth. The people that trust and value pharmacists and their ethics has gone down. It's approaching 50% now. I mean, and we've seen it, right? Like, yeah, we were all working 18, 20 hours a day at the hospital, hardly sleeping, but you still went home and watched the news, and you could see what people were saying about us.
Yeah.
And that was pretty...
It's devaluing. It's
Yeah.
hard to like separate that church and state too. You're like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, I mean, and we knew this, but for some odd reason we let it go, that the government really has no business practicing healthcare. They shouldn't be practicing pharmacy. They shouldn't be practicing medicine. They shouldn't be practicing nursing.
Yeah.
They're not trained in it. They don't understand it. But guess what happened during the pandemic? They pretty much controlled most of it.
Yeah.
And
That'd be like me coming in and being like, hey, I'll tell you how to build a building.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it wrong.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Use this screw. You're like, hold on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about healthcare, nor do I feel like I can speak to it, but I feel like I've ran into certain instances where I've talked to nurses like yourself, and they're frustrated because you're banging your head against the wall, and then it's like, it's not just the people that are above you, it's the people that are above them and them and them. And it's just like, you have to go all the way to the top to fix the whole system because it's all broken, you know?
And you can't get to the top.
Yeah, exactly. Because it just ends up being too much red tape and too much stuff. So that's unfortunate because, obviously you had a passion for it, and that's why you went into that field. And obviously I'm glad that Brent has you now, because it worked out well in his favor, but it gets to be frustrating because it was something that, maybe even as a child, you're hoping that, your career could have been
Yeah.
in nursing. And
Absolutely.
And then, once you ended up getting there,
Yep.
it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be.
Yeah, because you probably started off like strong, like, oh, I'm going to help these people, and spending so much energy, mental energy, thinking about them, and then
Yeah,
it
and I
just got
started.
ripped from your soul because like you can't.
Yeah, I started as an LPN and worked up to an RN too, because it's there. I assume with all of us, we're like, you have a drive until, and I didn't leave either just because of the burnout. You almost don't realize it till you're out of it. It's like this shades kind of thing. This opportunity came up and it was a lot of thinking. I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. And then out of it, I've been like, okay, wow. My husband's like, oh, you're so much happier at home. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to just sit on the couch and scroll. I want to go play with the kids more. That's where I'm like, wow, okay, maybe I was pretty burnt out compared to what I realized.
That's a good observation on yourself, because burnout can show up in so many ways. But that you're have more energy to do things that you truly want to do.
Yeah.
That's great. And I've never understood the long shifts for nurses. Out of every job in the world, why do nurses have the longest shifts?
I couldn't actually tell you
shouldn't
why.
they get the most rest?
They're willing to do it. Yeah. And I wouldn't. I mean, I would say it's something that actually goes across healthcare.
Yeah. Well, and back in the pandemic, you were mandated. And so as a nurse or pharmacist, if someone doesn't show up, your nurse, you're staying. You're staying until, now I'm finding someone for my kiddos or whoever, because you can't leave. You can't leave patients vulnerable, and that nurse is sick. And
some of it comes from by choice and balance,
Yeah. It is nice working 3 days probably, right?
Yeah, some people like to work 3 12-hour days and they're done for their time. We're also, I think it starts in university.
Yeah.
Long hours. What college kid do you know gets up at 5 a.m, right?
Healthcare is boot camp.
I know a bunch of pharmacy students that get up at 5 a.m, because that's what they do, and they work really hard. And I don't know.
They break you down and build you back up to what they want.
Physicians are, most of your physicians, 60, 70, 80 hours a week is not uncommon at all. They do the same game.
Yeah.
And that's so prestigious. That's a prestigious job. And, who taught us in society that was a good life?
Yeah.
Who decided that? Who brainwashed us? You know?
There's actually rules around how long you can work your interns and your residents and stuff like that. But
But imagine how you got those rules.
They're perfect. Well, but and then the reality is, I would never work my residents as hard as I could have.
Yeah.
They were pretty extreme. Wow.
Yep.
And that just comes from a long culture of that in healthcare.
Yeah. So you're happier now too?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would definitely say I miss seeing patients and visiting with patients. And more than anything, I miss the people that were working for me at the time at the hospital. Most wonderful people in the world. I definitely miss them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you haven't been in your new role long, but back to that, anything that you thought about leadership in the past that you think differently now?
Yeah, I think a big part for I think a big difference right now that I'm noticing is leadership's not always about being the most stern voice or loudest voice, and more of being a really calm listener, which Brent does really well at that. He'll sit almost a very long pause to let you talk, to the point where I'm like, okay. But you fill the gaps and you keep talking. And then, I've actually kind of learned to incorporate it myself, of just I'm going to just be really quiet. And then usually people will fill in what's actually going on, and then you're like, oh, see, that's what you need help with. So that's been, I think, a big thing I've taken away just from sitting on a couple of his meetings and how he is with his other staff. So that's been kind of cool.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I've said it numbers of times. If I ever write a leadership book, it's going to be titled Listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that about Brent too. I mean, I've met you, this is probably our third time meeting, and for whatever reason, I feel like super comfortable with you, and it feels like I've known you for a long time. Just because you're like a very easy to talk to person. And I don't know if it's just because you have that nice low voice, and you know, you're
maybe.
yeah, if I don't want to hear you raise your voice, maybe that's why or something.
I don't think you ever will. I mean, in my whole, like, it monotone the whole time,
Yeah.
like mad, happy, and like it's just all like, yep, it is what it is. I'm like, are you mad? Well, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Brent, how do you handle it when you have someone on your team that like disagrees with you? And I'm sure you're going to run into that more with Miranda now. But-
Sure. No, I'm a pretty flexible guy.
Okay.
And again, it really is listening. I want to, if somebody disagrees, I want to hear why. And if I disagree with them, I'm going to share why I disagree. And I find it's really rare that if everything's out on the table, you can't come to a consensus, an agreement between the two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very rare.
Yeah, that's a really good leadership quality. And back to what you were saying about how a certain leader doesn't have to have the exact same qualities all the time. The one thing that I've found is that like inspiration, some of the best leaders out there can just be super inspiring instead of like demanding or whatever the case is.
Micromanaging,
Yeah, exactly. They make you want to work harder and whatnot. And I love the fact that you're willing to listen, because Brad that works here, he's always willing to listen, and he usually shoots down the majority of my ideas because he's tried all of them, but he's still willing to listen, which I really appreciate. So, yeah.
I feel like you just having the calm energy that we were talking about, and that calm presence probably helps problems just resolve themselves almost in a way,
Yeah.
just, being on that frequency. So I saw a flyer for your company picnic, tons of food, games, ice cream truck, raffle drawings. Is there anything else that you do that makes a big impact on the team culture?
We've been trying to do, actually, I totally stole this from the hospital, doing some just picnics through the summer, fry some hamburgers and whatever. We did that. And then one day I just kind of got to thinking, why don't we do breakfast? And so we did that this summer too. So we kind of continued to kind of do that kind of stuff. Right now it seems like, if you watch social media, having a pizza party, everybody hates it, which I think is ridiculous. Like, my goodness, if somebody's going to throw a pizza party for you, have it, But that's out there, right? Social media is like, okay, well, here, I'll put the extra $3 in your paycheck. Like, come on, let's just enjoy each other, But just trying to be kind of creative and those types of things, and definitely don't do it enough. Definitely should do it a lot more often. Have a lot more meetings. We don't have enough company meetings right now. We pretty much just do a quarterly meeting, and we should definitely do more of that. Company-wide meetings with everybody.
Yeah, I always heard it's the little things that add up, it's those little perks that really make people feel like they're seen, and, you're actually willing to have lunch with them, and have lunch with the entire team, when you're talking to executives, from different, high level companies and whatnot or whatever. So, Brent, how would you say you spot leadership in someone? Obviously, you might be a little biased towards Miranda, but
I think it's a feeling.
Okay.
Big part of it is a feeling. I think some of the best leaders that I know of are the ones that are willing to speak their mind or tear off the Band-Aid and have the difficult conversations.
Yeah.
That's probably that's a hurdle. That's a hurdle. Like, it's super weird. I've sort of been in managerial or leadership positions ever since high school. My first job was like a night shift guy at the grocery store, right? Like, I had the keys. And it took me a long time to get there to that point where I was willing to have the difficult conversations. You just want to avoid it, right? It's not fun.
Uh-huh.
But those folks that sort of learn that, you don't have to do it in a rude manner. You don't have to be mean about it, but you got to go have the hard conversation.
Yeah.
And when I see that, I mean, you can see that's a natural leader.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Miranda, when, like, just in life, when you're unsure of what to do next, what principle or value do you go back to?
I'm going to go back with the progress, not perfect. Just keep going. I mean, I feel like if you stop because of a hurdle, you'll never find it, but not everything's going to be perfect. And hitting that bar almost makes it defeating. When it's like when you surpass your kind of expectation, you're like, great, that's way better. So probably that. Just keep progress.
How do you guys know that you're doing a good job as a leader?
Well, I'm not a leader. I'm just moving along. I feel like how I feel that I'm fulfilled is like, even today it was a big one of trying to find, whether it's leads and we had a meeting with a state lady who kind of was like, hey, you jumped in without any guidance and you're surpassing people that went to college for this. And I was like, oh, that's good to hear. I was like, cause I'm winging it.
Yeah.
We're kind of just.
Yeah.
How about you, Brent? What do you think makes you realize that you're doing a good job as a leader?
Yeah, well, I usually question whether I am.
I think that's a sign of a good leader.
Yeah. Many years ago in some leadership book I picked up, talked about the fact that the reality is everybody is a leader. You got to get up in the morning and put on your pants. That takes a little bit of leadership. Take care of your dogs and cats and your kids, right? It's leadership at some level. And so, defining that and what have you has always been difficult for me. Like, what is a leader then, if everybody's a leader? But yeah, I guess like I said for myself, I would say that I'm being successful if the folks around me feel safe and that they trust me. If I can feel that, right? And then I gotta, being the boss or being the owner, people aren't always willing to share that with you, but you hope. Like,
I mean, you got me jumping
sense
nursing coming over. I mean, that's probably my biggest definition of like truly under him. I was like, yeah, okay, I trust you. I'll come. No idea what that means, but sure, let's do it.
Yeah, because I think you already are a leader. I mean, you're a leader in our networking group, and like just jumping into a place and like how you're inserting yourself in all the areas.
Oh, I
Like,
appreciate that.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't take on that. I just kind of take on like, I'm just going with whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I'll just talk until someone tells me to stop.
Who modeled leadership for you growing up?
I think growing up, my parents for sure, in a community perspective, community leadership. But boy, other than that, outside of that, I mean, my entire life, I wouldn't say there was a person, right? You just pick up so many different things from different people, whether it's a teacher or a professor or a coworker, another boss, and
Any bad leaders?
I've had some bad bosses
That
for
showed you
sure.
how not to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Thankfully, not many. And interestingly, even some of those bad bosses had some positive pieces that you pull from it too, right? No matter what. I mean, they got where they're at for a reason.
Yep.
So they usually have some pretty stellar qualities as well, even though there's a few that are a real problem.
Yep. It's like in nursing, you have your nurses that eat their young. It's a funny saying. I don't know where it came about. Almost every healthcare could say it, but it's almost your nurses that are older, but probably have the best skill set that you could ever learn from. They're not nurturing. They will make you feel like you had never spent a day in school or you know nothing. But that's called, I mean, it was kind of like the approach with healthcare is like, you better have tough pants on.
Survive.
Yeah.
So when we toured yesterday and we were talking about how some of the things made there are only made there, they're not made anywhere else in the world. And that just made me think that's kind of powerful. And then I just kind of thought, like, you are kind of a powerful person. You have this powerful essence. Maybe you don't like to think of yourself in that way or not, but power doesn't have to, it's definitely only half of it. The shadow side is the bad side. Otherwise, power is a good thing. It creates agency and influence, the ability to shape change, lead, inspire, safeguard others. So my question is, do you think power is something we earn, take, or are given?
I'm not sure. I don't really think a lot about power, I guess. I don't give it much consideration other than being careful to not personify it and make people fearful of me or overwhelmed by me. I imagine it's earned, right? It's how you behave that creates it, no matter what. But so yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't think about it too much. I do watch a heck of a lot of politics, and that's all they talk about is power.
Power.
Who's in power? This person's only doing that so that they can stay in power. All that, but which I think is just a weird dynamic. I tend to come from. I try to really focus on servant leadership, and power doesn't have a lot of presence in that.
Yeah, and to me, what I've observed about you is that you're cognizant that you don't take the power and like shove it down someone else's throat.
For sure.
You know, you're a leader. You're not like a dictator. Almost is the best way to describe it. You know, because you're still willing to learn from your team and listen to what other people have to say, even though, like me, I might have a lot of dumb ideas, you know, or whatever. But yeah, no, that's awesome. So how do you guys keep showing up when you're burnt out or uninspired? Like, how do you make sure that doesn't like dim your light?
Want me to go? Yeah. I have a really interesting trait that drives me every day, and I probably think about it far too much. But if I go to bed at night and don't feel like I got enough done, it really bothers me.
Okay.
I'll lay awake stressed about it.
Yeah.
Which is not very good for somebody who wants to go on vacation and relax or whatever. It's funny, you know. I mean, I go on vacation somewhere if I'm visiting a friend's home or their cabin, I'm fixing a window or whatever. Like I'm doing things.
Yeah.
Like, I have to kind of feel like I did something for the day.
And it's just always been that way?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, like, at dinner time, you're like, okay, I got to make sure I did enough so that I can sleep tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the worst days I have are hangovers.
Okay, yeah.
Like I don't feel
He
like
doesn't have them though.
I don't do it very often. Yeah.
So like even if so, he's up at 6 a.m. where you're like, how? 6 a.m. and out in the garage, or I mean, we'll be obviously over there with my kiddos and stuff, and my mom's like sitting down. Where's Brent? In the garage tinkering with something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man. How do you make sure you're not uninspired?
I think a big thing for me is I just don't think about it. I keep going. I have this really big thing, like if you pay attention to the negative, you're just kind of welcoming it in. So if I paid attention to every little thing that kind of nicked me down, I feel like I would hyper-focus on it. Yeah. I tend to hyper-focus on things. So I just choose to hyper-focus on the ups. And then I just keep going. And then typically it just works out well because somehow we make it to the up.
Yeah.
So I just don't feel like I let myself even think about it.
Yeah. No, that's really good. And hopefully you don't get hate for that because I'm sure everybody's like, I wish I could do that, but I can't, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, and I just think it's in this day and age where most people are that way, where it's like, you know,
well, you feel your feelings too much and then you feel them too much, which I think feeling your feelings is great, right? Like embrace them, figure out why they're there. Mm-hmm. But like also you don't need to feel them. Like if it's a bad one, like if I'm crabby, it might not be because there's something actually wrong. Maybe I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't need to hyper focus on being crabby.
Exactly.
So yeah, I try to
I love that.
Put it in the
yeah,
back.
Yeah. So one thing we like to do is do a would you rather at the end of the episode. So for Brent, would you rather spend a week at the hunting shack with unlimited buffalo trays or a week at the Pine County Fair with perfect weather?
Oh man, the cabin for sure.
Oh.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
You've had so many good years in a row with perfect weather,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, you deserve to take one for
Yeah.
yourself. So I'm on the Kanabec County Fair Board, and Ryan is thinking about joining. Any advice for Kanabec to, just inch their way up towards being as cool as you guys in Pine?
Well, yeah, you probably don't want to hear my advice on that for sure.
No, we do. We do.
Maybe
Yeah,
after.
I would definitely, if I were to go back and change some of the stuff going on at some of our other fairs, it would be to focus more attention around adult entertainment. And I'm not talking strip
Adults have
clubs.
money, kids don't.
Yeah, they spend money, right?
Yeah.
Like, and music and beer and dancing pays the bills, and getting that out in front and center and not being afraid of that.
Yeah.
So many people think that I shouldn't say so many people think that, but some people think that the fair is all about animals and 4-H and all of those things are incredibly important, but they don't pay the bills, right? And so we try to figure out ways to expand on the adult entertainment and get adults to come and spend money and bring their kids and buy lots of tickets and do all of that stuff so that we can do the arts and crafts and the animals and all of that fun stuff. So
Because you kind of have to treat it like a business and have it evolve like a business would, and
Totally.
go where the money is. And I've been saying this story for years because I read this article forever ago, and so I don't know. I'm so bad at remembering stuff, but it was about the state fair and how when they switched over leadership, it went like very businessy, and a lot of people were upset because they stopped letting the food vendors come that had been coming for 50 years. But it was like, no, their food takes too long to come out, and we are only allowing food that takes 30 seconds or 2 minutes or something to go out. And then when I go to the state fair, that's why I like it, because the lines are so long. It can be like the longest line ever, but you're through it in 5 minutes.
yeah.
And that's why I think around the whole country, Minnesota is known as the best state fair.
yeah,
So
yeah, definitely. It's
do
the best
you
state fair,
agree with that?
yeah. Oh,
And
I
that's
think so.
how you've tried to make
Yeah.
Pine cool?
I
'Cause,
think a lot of that stuff.
Pine's just
yeah.
always been a little cooler than ours
You'll get there.
I don't know.
for the fair. Yeah.
I've been to a lot of county fairs, and every county fair sort of has its own personality, its own thing, its own shtick that people really enjoy it for, and I think it's okay. If they're paying the bills and bringing fun to town every year, great.
Yeah.
I would tell you, if you're considering getting on the board, my biggest advice for the young guys that join our board is to understand that your ideas are wonderful.
Yep.
It's going to take you 3 to 4 years to get the old guys to agree that your idea was good.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, it's going to be their idea.
Yeah. So then you just have to be the backseat driver.
It just takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Because, yeah, I think I'm on my third year.
Do you like
And
it?
Yeah, parts of it I do, but some parts are tough. Like getting people, the older people, to see different
Agreed.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It'll happen.
And
Just takes time.
and then you can, feel really good about the fair afterwards. You can read 18, 20 good comments on Facebook, and then that one that they complain about you. It
Yep.
just kind of, brings you
Dwells.
down. Like
Yep.
me anyways.
So is the fair board something where you guys unanimously have to vote on a change or something? Is that kind of how?
Yeah, there's
Well,
lots
it's a
of
board.
rules.
It doesn't have to be unanimous.
But
It's-
majority?
It's
or-
majority. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's voted on.
How many people are there on the board?
Every board can decide. We
Yeah.
just upped ours from like 15 to 18 or something like that.
I think
Oh, like every county or every county fair has a different board?
Yeah, it's totally set up as
Yeah.
a nonprofit organization, and I mean you have your bylaws and your policies, and
Gotcha.
you run it like a business. There is one little special caveat to it, and that is in Minnesota. I don't remember what year it was, but we have our own chapter in law.
Oh, okay.
Agriculture societies have
Yeah, they're
have
pretty
Chapter
actually
38.
powerful.
Yeah.
Egg Society.
It's
in
crazy if you
general.
go back and read the old like rules and stuff. Like, it's we when the county fair is going on, the property that we're on and the adjacent properties are under our jurisdiction, and we have the authority to police it
Yeah.
ourselves. And it's weird. I mean, it's old, really super antiquated stuff, right? I mean, nobody's doing that, but.
But we could go in there
The
and do
law is
that.
there. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, no, this is what's up.
You're under arrest.
Yeah,
Crazy stuff, right? Like,
Yeah. Let's do a cool rule like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Or no, we're just taking over the street, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally could do that.
we can, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Egg societies do have a bunch of power. It's kind of wild. But, I mean, nobody's
Fun
really
fact.
doing it. I mean, I'm sure back in the day they probably were, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the farmers, they were,
They were
That's
powerful, yeah.
yeah. And yeah, when we first joined, Steve wanted to do like a fake war with Pine County. Like, I forgot what it was, but like, like in the paper, like, oh, then Pine County did this, then Canadian County did this, but it was all set up just to like get publicity and get people coming. So now that we know
Yeah.
you so well, we'll have to start something
We used to
like
run,
that.
several years ago, a bunch of us used to run truck pull over there from Pine County. And we
You should do a Kanabec truck versus Pine County
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a group of us for a few years to say, hey, let's go build cars and go run the redneck.
Yeah, like counties versus. That would be hilarious.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. We're all a bunch of old guys.
That's fine. I'm in. Let's do that next year. We'll have a Pine County car. We'll have a Kanabec car.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Miranda, we have a couple would you rathers for you because Taylor helped me think of some.
Oh no.
Would you rather wake up every morning thinking it was Monday or have to you're the person at work that shows up and enforces everybody to wear name tags
Oh, I will not be number 2. I guess it's number 1. It's Monday.
every day?
Yep. No, but everyone's gonna be happy at work. I'm not going in there being that.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't wear your
I'll
name
make really
tag.
good Mondays. That's all right.
That's good.
Yeah.
We do have to be the safety glass police sometimes.
Yep. See, I don't.
People don't like wearing their safety glasses, so we do have to
Yeah.
police that
Leadership?
a little bit.
Not.
It's just good cop, bad cop. I make everybody be the bad cop. I'm always just the good cop.
See, that's
you
what
go.
I want to be. I want everyone to be like, wow, she's so great. Where was
yeah.
she?
Yeah, just make the deal. Be like,
Yeah.
I'll,
Like,
I'll
do
do
they
this,
really?
but let me be the good cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. My nephew Devin, I always made him be the bad cop at work.
Yeah.
And so Taylor wanted to know, would you rather smell like feet or like eggs?
Oh. Whose feet?
Teenage boys.
Oh. I guess egg. I don't want to be feet.
Yeah, you never know what they're going to smell like.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's got like fungus smell or. Yeah, neither. But egg.
Yeah. Perfect.
Wait, do you get to answer that one too, though?
No, that was just for you.
I feel like that's a good universal one. Like, would you rather smell like feet or
Probably
egg?
eggs.
Egg. Would you rather smell like feet?
Yeah, gotta be eggs.
Yeah.
My feet stink bad.
Yeah. I think of my husband, and I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't.
Yeah. Funny. Well, anything else you'd like to share? Thanks so much for coming.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
definitely link you below, and yeah,
It's fun.
Yeah.
You guys have a fun podcast.
Yeah.
It's good.
We appreciate you
Thanks.
coming on. Yeah.
Thanks.